Good afternoon. Thanks very much. This is Rodney. Yes, I today moderated and facilitated the CISO Summit Retreat here in Magaliesburg. My comments and my feedback, or the discussions we had today was actually very well received. We had quite a variety of guests from various industries, financial services, telco, state-owned enterprises. We had some public sector environments as well. And it was good to actually have a good discussion around the CISO. As we spoke about things such as governance in the age of resilience. How resilient can you be? How can government rebound? How quickly can you get back on track? What is it that you need to do? And then another aspect, and one of the key takeaways that we found was, how do you actually get your board? How do you create the awareness? How do you actually make sure that the responsibility is shared? So it was a really, really engaging discussion. One of the areas that was quite a topical point was compliance. To bear in mind that we don't want compliance to be a stumbling block. So the idea of compliance actually forming part of this whole cyber posture of a company actually came into play time and time again.
The key takeaway from the event was really about connecting business or rather cybersecurity with business objectives. I think it's something that a lot of the organizations, I think through conversations we've picked up that it's something we're needing to improve on, or at least, it's something that can be worked on enhancing. I think another key takeaway is around moving away from working in silos from a cybersecurity perspective, but also just going broader. If we think about it from a financial services perspective, where we might be excelling in some of our cybersecurity governance or regulatory aspects, these are offerings that can be extended even in other sectors. And I think it was something that was quite a key takeaway for myself.
Takeaways from today and what we learned from the audience and everyone that participated was the challenges that are in the security space, what everyone is doing right, where they need help, where they could improve. Our keynote and what we discussed was around regulations, specifically around what's happening in US and in Europe and how that will filter down into Africa, into the local market, about implementing controls to adhere to these types of regulations, what to understand. We also went into a tabletop workshop where we discussed a real life scenario of a hack and how that would outcome. And everyone participated and came to conclusions that we then unpacked inside the session. It was a great event from the ITWeb Ciso retreat to be able to connect with all these leaders inside the industry, and would recommend it to anyone in the leadership space from a security perspective, as well as attending the ITWeb Security Summit to further understand different technologies to help with incident response and data resilience.
So today we were talking about elevating CISO conversations at a board level, right? So we're talking about the visibility factor, right? Think about it this way. We as CISOs constantly want to be able to get the message across. We want to get the message across around how the business is doing from a cybersecurity context, what we need, how we need to resolve it, and what we should be watching out for, right? We are a very, very important part of what the business does, but not all businesses appreciate, care, or even value cybersecurity as a department or the CISO position in itself. The conversation has steered away from a seat at the table. I'm tired of that. I really am. The conversation now is around, what are we doing to make sure that we're getting the message across? Are we speaking the language of the business? Are we managing to convert our technical and cybersecurity metrics into dollars and cents? That's what people appreciate. That's what the board appreciates. They want to know, what's the problem? How much is it going to cost us? And what decision do I need to make? Stop wasting my time telling me about how many vulnerabilities we have. And that was just one aspect. So that was one of my opening themes, which was about business alignment, business engagement, cybersecurity as a business. You as the CISO, you're in charge of running your cyber business, and your cyber business needs to be profitable. And how do you evaluate profit when you're viewed as a cost center? So that's what we were talking about. I was also talking about driving visibility. We didn't really get down to the nitty-gritties of that. And this was unfortunate. It was a very short session, but I really do hope that we will get more of these conversations. We're going to be at the ITWeb Security Summit, so I'm really excited to get to talk about this topic again.